Hello and welcome to another episode of Venture Portland's Lunch and Learn series. Today we're going to be talking about winter promotions and ways that your business can kind of boost sales during the holiday season and beyond. So we've got some great guests here to talk about some great opportunities to promote your business during this critical holiday period. My name is Jacob Falkenberg. I'm the Communications and Member Services Director here at Venture Portland. And I think we're going to start off with the promotion that's coming up soonest, which is Shop Small, Win Big. And we've got Sarah Showell from Bricks Need Mortar here to kind of talk about what that looks like this year, how you can get involved, and some of the successes that the program has had in the past. So welcome, Sarah. Oh, I think you're muted there.
Thank you so much for having me today, and I'm happy to share what we have going on. I will share that some of our elements are embargoed until our kickoff event, which is next Thursday. So you're all invited to join us next Thursday. But I think we can give you some hints and also give you some full picture of what we're doing. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so welcome. Thank you so much. Many of you may have been around long enough to remember there was a program called Little Boxes. When I was a retailer, Little Boxes was a game changer over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. And it really helped move the needle for us as a small business in that time. And I think as time progressed, the need to adapt and change was really apparent. We acquired Little Boxes during the pandemic, and we didn't run it right away because we felt there were other ways that we could better prioritize shopping with our small businesses. And then we've grown and changed the program along the way. Let me get into, okay, let's see. Next. Okay. We created this little video. It's very short. I can show you. It's small shops create culture in Portland, and we just want to take a minute to celebrate the businesses. And that's part of the campaign this year, is really highlighting the individual businesses and the business districts where they exist. So I'll show you this little video. As you can see in that video, we really want the consumer to see that each of these small businesses brings inspiration, brings passion, brings a really unique and valuable experience for the consumer. So, so we're really highlighting the small businesses in some unique ways. I want to first talk about the challenges that small businesses face right at the moment. The old challenges used to be competing against big box stores. Then the challenge continues to be competing with online shopping. Current challenge, especially for us here in Portland, is Portland's reputation. And this is an election year, and that's really tough. And the other thing is this is a compressed holiday shopping season because Thanksgiving comes so late in the month of November. So we have technically fewer days in what we consider the official holiday shopping season. So we're addressing those things. Let me go to the next slide. So one of the things that we're doing that we're really excited about, like I said, we need to address some of the things that I just pointed out. We are working with the mayor's office on a proclamation in support of Independent and Small Shop Week. So the second week of November will be Independent and Small Shop Week. And next slide, please. Okay, so what this does is we provide some post-election retail therapy. That's something people can play up. Regardless of how this election goes, we are definitely going to need some retail therapy. Second, it draws shoppers into small businesses earlier in the season. And then third, it shows consumers that small businesses create the best experience. Next slide, please. Okay, so we talked also about partnerships. I met with the CEO of Powell's Books a few months back. Powell's Books during the holiday season gets 15,000 people a day in their store downtown. 15,000 people a day. Now, imagine a small percentage of those folks being incentivized to go to all the small businesses throughout the city of Portland. And we can use the Win Big app to do so. So we're currently working with Powell's Books on getting their customers to download the app and distribute folks throughout Portland. They want to see Portland thrive because when the rest of Portland thrives, they thrive as well. One other thing I wanted to point out too is I want shop owners to be thinking about the lifetime value of just one customer. Even if you get just one customer from Powell's Books, which I'm hoping it's a lot more than that, but just one, be thinking about not just what you can sell them that one time they come in, but how you can make them a lifetime customer and what that value is to you. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a sneak peek into some of this reveal that'll happen next Thursday. So this was to be embargoed till next Thursday. So I'm going to say, let's quickly move on to the next slide, please. Okay, so there was a video attached to this, but it's okay if we don't look at this. But you can go and download the Win Big Shop Small app. It's available on Google, and it's also available for Android and Apple and Android. And so that app does a lot of things. I'm sorry that you can't see, but for us, it's really important that we're not trying to create a layer in between what we do and the small businesses. We're trying to direct people directly to small businesses. So when you go to the app, each business has its own feature. It gets up to 5 photos. It has direct links to their Instagram, TikTok, if they have it, Facebook, and their websites. So we're just trying to get more traffic directly to those businesses. It also lists all the prizes. We have prizes all the way from air travel, other vacation stays, Blazers tickets, and then prizes provided by the businesses. There's over 100 prizes. And this year, we're also adding an additional element, which again is embargoed until next week, but we'll have weekly prizes associated with that new element. So it incentivizes people to be winning weekly, and that adds more excitement, and it has an activity attached to it, which again, we'll be announcing next week. Let's see, what else can I share? The app also, it logs all your raffle entries, so you know how many raffle entries you have, and it also shows the multiplier effect of making purchases because you get multiple raffle entries from making purchases. The more purchases that you make, your raffle entries double, triple, and then quadruple. So it definitely incentivizes not only visiting, but also shopping. Okay, next step, next slide, please. Okay. Okay, thank you. So one of the things that we heard back, and it was feedback on why can't we have something that's year-round, not just for the holidays. It's great to promote during the holidays, but businesses need support all year round. So one of the things that we've done is we've created a shopping guide, and it's called the Discover the Heart of Portland Shopping Guide. We print 20,000 of these shopping guides, and we distribute them at the Travel Portland Visitor Center, the Travel Oregon Visitor Center at PDX. Both the folks that work at both tell us it's one of the top things that they distribute to visitors. They're very popular. We distribute them with Portland hotels, and then the participating businesses also distribute them. We also have a big consumer-facing email list of over 10,000 people who have engaged either in Little Boxes or the Win Big campaign, or both. And we send out regular emails highlighting the shops of Portland. Next slide, please. So this is something we do year round and promote year round. As I had mentioned earlier, we have a big event. It's a celebration of our small shops that's happening at the Armory next Thursday. We'll be making some announcements there. And there will be snacks provided by Providor. There will be beer provided by Deschutes Brewing, and open bar for those of you who prefer cocktails or non-alcoholic beverages. We have some really great partnerships that we're excited about. And one of the elements that, again, I couldn't directly speak to yet, but it is got a neighborhood focus, how we can do some place making in different neighborhoods. So I'd encourage you to come next Thursday or sign up for our email list, because we'll be sharing more about it in a recap afterwards. I can also, I guess one more slide. And if you have any questions for me, please just let me know either right now or just email me.
Thanks so much, Sarah. It's really cool to see how the program has kind of evolved and grown over the years, and I think a lot of people look forward to it during their critical holiday season. Before we move on, I just wanted to see if there's specific deadlines that businesses need to sign up by. I know you've got the event happening next week, but should businesses have a specific date on their calendar for participation?
Yeah. Thanks for the questions. And one thing that I didn't, and again, this is, I modified next week's presentation for today. One thing that I didn't have in there is this event will run from November the 14th, again, towards the end of the second week of November. So November 14th, and it goes to December 15th. That's when businesses need it most. From December 15th to the 25th, they're already going to be pretty busy, because procrastinators do tend to shop in store because they can't depend on online. And then we want to give time to award the prizes. So November 14th to December 15th, the deadline for signing up will be in October. And we'll be talking about that next week. Sorry, there's some noise at my door. And the other thing, if you're interested in how we can support a neighborhood-wide campaign through this, please reach out directly to me. Is that super loud? Sorry. And see what else I can share. Yeah, we have a little bit, our deadline has been pushed out because our guides won't go to print until early in November. Usually we go to print in October.
It's good to know. I know it's kind of hard to start thinking about the holidays. It seems like a lot of people are still in summer mode, but it sounds like, yeah, if you are interested in the next couple of weeks, definitely reach out to Sarah to see what's the best way your business can get involved. I know this is mostly a retail-focused program, but is there opportunities for restaurants and bars to participate as well? What's that look like?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we really work on is how do we weave what the entire Main Street ecosystem, how it creates community together. So it's really important that the arts, music venues, personal service providers, restaurants, bars, and retail work together. That's something we always strive for. One thing that we found is that personal service and retail don't really have, there's no James Beard Award for retail or for personal service, right? So this campaign is really focused on those sectors. However, there's opportunity to provide gift cards as giveaways that we promote. So we heavily promote in the campaign the prizes that are available. So if you've got a restaurant or bar or music venue or an arts venue, we highly recommend, and we have a form that we can share with you that you can donate prizes, and we heavily promote those prizes, both through social media and on our landing page for the event.
Yeah, it looks like there's some really great incentives for people to participate. So the prizes in previous years have really been really incredible. So glad to see that's continuing. Yeah, it looks like Nancy had a question.
So what does it cost for a business to be involved in this project?
Great question. So, the cost for a business just to participate in this campaign is $350. And we also work with partners to sponsor those who can't afford to participate. So it's really important to us that anyone who really wants to participate can. So I spend much of the year out there talking to banks and all kinds of other sponsors and say, can you please sponsor X number of businesses? And so we're still working on others. We never want to turn anyone away. So we do have a form for those who cannot afford to participate. But I will say $350 with all that it gets you, it's a massive program, and even just I can't understate just getting into the shopping guide that's year round, the being in the app, which you're year round in the app. We're talking to Travel Portland about them promoting it in their Near Me app, Near Me Now app. And then it gets other benefits that we'll talk about at greater length next week, and we can follow up also with the sign up page will state all those benefits as well.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sarah. And we'll leave some time at the end if people have more questions for Sarah, but I'd like to move us along to our next guest. Misty Post is here and with us from the Portland Winter Lights Festival. So after the holidays, we've got the shoulder season where it's dark and gloomy. And exactly 10 years ago, a wonderful event launched that has grown to be a citywide event to get people out and about during that shoulder season in February. So Misty's here to talk about the Winter Light Festival. Hi, Misty.
Hello, thank you so much. Thanks for that introduction. Yes, I know it's strange. It's still summer, sort of, but we're also talking about winter because as you all know, we have to get started pretty early to do all our planning. So yeah, Portland Winter Light Festival. It's our 10th year. It's amazing that we're here. We're all very excited about it. Our festival dates for 2025 are February 7th through the 15th. And I do have a little slideshow to show you about some of our venue partner opportunities, and I see some familiar faces, so you may have seen this already, so it's just another refresher for you. All right, let's see if I can share my screen here. Yeah. How's that? Can we see that?
Yep, looks good.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so we are looking for venues where we can place art. And then we're also looking for venues that can be a part of the festival with what we call art with location. And so we'll get through this here. All right, so Bold community, we will send out this deck to anybody that's interested after this, so I don't need to go through all of this. Hopefully, most of you have been to the Winter Light Festival and have been able to experience it, get out and about, see all our things downtown. And we also really like to get out into the communities. That's one of our big drives, is to be able to get out and have some clusters of art, and around that have some of the businesses stay open later, or put lights in their windows, change some of their light bulbs, just to show that you are supporting the festival. That's a pretty easy lift to be able to be people are driving down the street and they're like, oh, purple lights, something must be happening here. And then especially if you can stay open a little bit later, that's amazing too. Our festival hours are from 6 to 10 because of course we're a light festival, so it has to be in the evening so people can actually see the light. All right, so here's our impact report for 2024. Amazing. We had over 274,000 visitors that showed up. That's throughout Portland. That's obviously downtown. And then we do have some locations of art that's outside of the downtown area, and we get a general estimate of people that come through there. So that's how we end up with our number. And we had an economic impact of over 10 million for Portland. We wish we got that money, but we don't. That goes to Portland and what people are spending. I think it was about an average of 36.45 each, what people spent when they were out and about. All right. Here's our theme for 2025. It's a light for tomorrow. This theme's on our website too, so you can take a look. PDX WLF gives you all the information. All the forms for venues are on here too, but I'll let you go through the theme at your own pace. We're talking about future, past, how we can envision a good future for Portland, what we want to see, and how to bring the light. We're all about bringing in the light. Okay, so what makes a successful venue for us? For us to be able to place art into your space, we need some access up to the windows. We need to be able to place the art in the windows. That's a little harder with restaurants because of course people want to be sitting in those windows to be able to look out. Sometimes we have smaller pieces that we're able to place that would go right up in a window. And sometimes we have a piece that can go inside the door or inside somewhere, but we do need some access to the windows. We need power. Most of our light art is powered by electricity, so we do need access to power. Generally, it doesn't take a lot, and we'll absolutely work with you on what power we need, but we do need power. Oops, I did that. All right. We do have a harder time placing things if you have really bright street lights outside or security lights. That's been an issue too. Sometimes we can work around that. Sometimes we can gel some of those lights, and that also helps people realize that they're in the right spot, that they're looking at the art because they've got, you know, a nice blue gel on the lights or something. So again, we can work with you on that. We love having locations that are close to public transit and close to other installations. We try to do clusters. So when people are out and about and they want to go, say, to Southeast, they can go see 3 or 4 pieces here. They can go see a few pieces here. And that's also a great way for businesses to get involved, because if you're adjacent or close to some of those clusters, you've changed some of your light bulbs to a bright color, then people are going to come by because they're already wandering around. And people are going to come by and, you know, I mean, our installations close at 10. So after 10 o'clock, if they want to go to a bar and go get a drink somewhere or something, you know, it's a great way for them to be out and check it out. Okay. So we're looking for locations for venues that we place art into. And some of these are hotels that have an empty space. This is a great one at Hotel Lucia. They had a restaurant that was empty. I believe it's filled up now, but we were able to put some projection art in there. Also empty retail storefronts. We love some of those that we can have enough room to do a rear projection, or that has a nice big window where we can put art in that window facing out. Here's a few pieces at the Meyer and Frank building downtown. We were able to install quite a few pieces there. And then across the street at the old Payless building, we put a nice big piece in there as well. We have used some gated courtyards or secure exterior spaces. It has to be secure. It has to be something that can lock up, because with the artists that we're placing in there, we need to make sure that their art is secure overnight. Our festival spans 9 days. So if it is something outside, it just has to be secure or have security, either way. Buildings under construction, amazing. We've illuminated those before. The Luma building, PAE downtown, was an amazing building that they put lights in each floor. It looked incredible. Food cart pods, sometimes we can put artwork there, just kind of depends on the space. We can do some projection art, but that does take a little bit more work because projectors are pretty expensive, and we do need a place across the street that we can project onto. And event spaces, conference rooms, secure rooftops, potentially with some good visibility. And then the other thing that we're looking for is what we call art with location. So one of the places that we always love to talk about is Gifty Kitty on Mississippi. Clody with Gifty Kitty has all sorts of artists in her space that are all cat art, and a lot of them light up and are blacklight based too. So she stays open late, has lots of music on, and is able to feature her artists in her space. She's also reached out to quite a few other businesses along Mississippi to get them involved, to stay open a little later. And like this one here, Honey, I'm Home, they have these beautiful installations of lanterns on the inside. And so we're able to put them on our map if they have a light art component. We're not able to put them on the map if you just have some lights on or change their light bulbs, but if you're next to some other installations, then people are going to be coming by. So light up your sidewalk. There's also an opportunity to have installations in between buildings. Again, if you have that secure courtyard or gated area. And then of course, if you have a permanent light art installation, some locations like South Park Restaurant has a permanent light art installation. So we've been able to put that on our map to drive people there. We do have some fees. And again, this is all on our website that you can see. Our lowest fee is community partner to present your own light art. And mainly the fee is just your commitment to tell us that you want to be involved and you're willing to be involved the whole way through, because we spend a lot of time doing our maps and promotion, and we just want to make sure that you are committed to doing it. We also do offer waivers too for these fees. So if you believe that there's a reason that you should get a waiver, just take a look at the website. It's all listed on there, and we can work on that. We can't program installations into private residences because of security for the artists. We will not be able to program artists in every single venue that applies. We wish we could. We just don't have enough artists, and we don't have the budget to be able to pay all the artists to put them in all the spaces. We wish we could though. And so that's why the art with location is so important. I mean, if you're able to find your own artists, your own light artists, fantastic. Let us know. Let's see. The installations need to be viewable from the street or sidewalk, or allow public access between the festival hours of 6 to 10 p.m. We really want things to be on all 9 nights. If that's not possible, let us know. There's some venues that are only open on the weekends, and we absolutely understand that. The artists will need to have access to install the week before and the week after the festival. If you have your own location with art, we need to know what you're doing, and we need to approve it, be able to put you on our map. We'll let everybody know by November 8th. That's when we let all our artists know. Our call for art is open right now, and it ends on September 20th. I do have some lighting resources in here in this deck too. So if you're looking for a place to be able to rent some lights or videos or just some local light suppliers, the resources are here. And then thank you. Again, our submission deadline is Friday at 5, September 20th, and you can find all our information and all these forms on our website. All right. Great.
Thanks so much, Misty. I really appreciate the information, and it's great to know that anybody can apply to participate in this program. I know last year, looking at the map, there was kind of different clusters of installations all over the city, and that's great to get people out and about. I know downtown is kind of where things are primarily focused, but anyone can really apply to be a part of this, right?
Pretty true. And downtown is that's where we've got 2 of our anchor art spots, which is the World Trade Center and Pioneer Courthouse Square. And then we also have another anchor art spot, which is the Electric Blocks, which is Southeast 2nd and Clay. And we are working with CEIC and some other businesses in Inner Southeast. We're really trying to do different nights this year where we have something going on every single night. So say Thursday night, Wonder Love has a band or has something going on at their space, and people can go down, and maybe there's a secret roller disco, and we can have all sorts of things hanging out at that same night. And then, maybe Tuesday night, we can do something up in St. John's with Green Anchors. And we're also asking our venues that do participate to reach out to all their neighboring businesses to let them know what's going on, number one, and to see if they can get involved somehow, or at least, turn those lights on. It was great last year to see some lighting kits that had been given to some of the businesses and to drive around and see, oh, look, they're participating. Oh, they're a part of it. Oh, cool. You can see the lights. So, I mean, something just as little as that can show that you're not even sponsoring, that you're a part of the Light Fest.
Yeah, I do remember last year there was a coordinated effort to have everyone using the same colors just so it looks cohesive. So, even if someone can't afford to participate, they can still coordinate with other businesses in their district who are participating to make sure that, if they want to do a simple lighting fixture, that it's kind of still consistent with what maybe a larger installation that's happening at a different district or different business.
And like I said, our deadline is September 20th, and that's our call for art and call for venues. And then we look through everything and try to figure out where we're going to place everybody. We don't know exactly where the clusters are going to be yet, because we're still figuring that out and what we can actually put on our map. But you can certainly email me, once we get into, say, November. And, hopefully I have a little bit more information about where some of these locations would be. So if, say, somebody on Foster Road, it's like, hey, I want to know, do you have any art locations around here? I might be able to tell you, I might not, but we'll be much closer then.
Awesome. Yeah, so definitely deadline coming up quick, and this is a great way to drive traffic to your district during a normally very slow, gloomy, cold part of the year. So definitely highly recommend participating if you can. And if anybody has participated in the past, I think we'd love to hear about your experience, either as a visitor or as a business that's hosting, or a venue that's hosting an installation. Just because I think for a lot of folks, this is kind of a new thing, even though it's been happening for 10 years now. So I think different types of businesses and venues kind of participate in different ways. And the team at the Winter Light Festival, I'm sure, is happy to listen to your ideas and help you kind of develop them and make them as much of a incentive driver for people to visit as possible. Just because everyone at the Winter Light Festival has an art background, right? Like everyone can kind of speak from experience on what's worked in the past and maybe how ways to improve an idea that you might have if you want to do something at your business.
Sure.
Now, does anybody have any questions for either Misty or Sarah? Please drop them in the chat, or raise your hand or chime in. We'd love to kind of keep the conversation going. I know there's not a whole lot of time to think about it if you are a business who is looking to participate. So certainly get those questions answered now. I think I did have a question for Sarah. You mentioned district-wide promotions. So what could that look like if a business district was looking to do something specific during the Shop Small Win Big campaign?
Yeah, so what we've had in some districts in the past is we've actually had the district sponsor the event. So we can work with a district to have essentially blanket coverage. So it's a sponsorship that covers the businesses in their district, so that the businesses themselves can either come together to pay one big fee, or the district, if they have the funds, they can cover participation or sponsor the district. And with that, some of the things that they get with that is the district itself gets mentioned as a sponsor both in the shopping guides. Hold on a second. So like in past years, we've had like Central East Side and Williams District mentioned, so they're here on the shopping guides in the sponsor section. They're also mentioned, featured on the app. They're also featured on the website. We also will send out a dedicated email that goes out to that list of over 10,000 consumers, specific to that district. So if that district has a special like event that's happening, we can time it and message it around that. And then like I said, we have this new element that we're launching, and it really is meant to highlight the businesses, but we can actually produce one of these elements that's specific to the district. And again, I won't be able to share that until next week, but it's really intended to help create more engagement, and we feel it's going to be a really great tool to get organic social media engagement too.
So I like there's an air of mystery here. So if you'd like to learn more, certainly mark your calendars for September 19th. There's a big event where you can learn about some of these things that Sarah has kind of hinted at. But I think, one of the biggest things to keep in mind for promotions like this and the Winter Light Festival, if you are interested in participating, is having that critical mass of businesses, right? Working with the other businesses in your district to participate as well. Because if one business is participating, it might not be enough to draw people who, from outside of that area into that area. But if you've got, 5, 8, 10 businesses all participating in the same program, then people, I think, are going to be more incentivized to travel to come for this specific event. So definitely worth coordinating with your fellow businesses as well. Does anybody have any other questions? Oh yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
I was gonna say, I don't want to take up a lot of space, but there's one thing that I just hope you all take back to your businesses, and this is a really difficult thing to share. And I think, the windows in your district are like the most important advertising tool you all have. It is the key one. So I love this activation that Winter Light Festival is doing. It's so powerful. I love it. And if there's a way to convey to your folks, focus on those windows, make those windows the best they can be all year round. Make sure there are no dead bugs in your window. Keep those windows clean. Make sure you have good lighting in your windows. These are really, really key, important, and very affordable ways that all the businesses in your district, and when everyone's all caught up with, the bills they have to pay and the ordering they have to do, sometimes this very basic thing gets lost. But if there's a way you can go to your district and just share that message with the businesses, it's just so important.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely worth investing in, especially with these two events. You've got Shop Small, Win Big, which, starts mid-November and runs to mid-December. So that's a month-long campaign. And then you got the Winter Light Festival starting in early February. So it's not just, for a month to have a window display. You could essentially leave it up. If it's designed properly, you could leave it up for, November, December, January, and February. Get 4 months out of this investment in a window display or other kind of thing that could draw in foot traffic as people are walking by. You want something that'll catch people's eye. And especially with a lighting display too, I think it just makes people feel safer. If there's the streets are well lit and you can see down the street that, where you're walking is well lit, I think people are going to be more inclined to spend more time in your district. So really thinking about, what are ways that we can make our district more appealing and more inviting for people to spend time. Just because when it starts raining and gets cold, people, they need a little bit of incentive to get out and about. So it's definitely worth that extra time. Does anybody have anything they want to share or any other questions for our presenters from Shop Small, Win Big and the Portland Winter Light Festival?
Actually, I have a clarifying question for Misty. When we're talking about empty storefronts, empty windows, you mean occupied businesses that aren't utilizing their storefronts, right? versus, oh, there's no business happening?
I mean both.
Oh, okay. You mean both?
Yeah, I mean
Oh,
both. Yeah, we do activate some empty storefronts.
okay.
And so if you have a space that could work out well to have an installation in it, we do that. If we have the artist to put in there and if it's a perfect spot for it, absolutely. And then also with occupied retail spaces as well. That gets a little trickier because like Sarah said, I mean, most people are using their window because that's such an amazing spot to, look into your business, of course. But maybe you have a space or have a bunch of windows or some of your things aren't right up next to the window, then, it's possible that we could put an art piece in the window. But we definitely need those empty retail storefronts as well.
Right. But that is something that needs to be coordinated between, let's say, the business district with the leaseholder or the owner of the space. Versus,
Absolutely.
hey, Misty, you should.
Absolutely. And that can be a little tricky too, because I mean, we do go downtown and in other areas and we see a perfect storefront, like, oh my gosh, this is a great spot. And then we try to get a hold of the business owner or the property manager or whoever it might be. And that takes quite a bit of doing. And then we introduce the artist to the property owner so then they can work together. And there's always a lot of logistics to what's going to work and what won't. But again, we do love seeing some installations in those empty spaces and to be able to utilize it, like Meyer and Frank. I mean, that's a great example. For the last many years, we've used the Meyer and Frank business or windows right along 6th because there's been nothing in it. And that's been just a perfect place for us to be able to put. I think we've had like 5 installations in there.
Right. Great. Thank you for the clarification.
Absolutely. And just to touch on something else too, when you are putting up lights in the windows, we love to see colored lights. The white lights are so great for holidays, and that's what a lot of people use. But once we get into the light festival, if you can have color changing lights, that's great because then people can come up and then seeing those colored lights, they're like, ooh, something's happening here. So yeah.
That's great. So yeah, if anybody here knows any property owners or property managers that have vacant window space in their district, this is a great way to activate that during this critical period. And I think those vacancies, when they are filled, it just makes people more inclined to spend time in the district. Yeah, it looks like Nancy had a question. Yeah, Nancy, go ahead.
Well, actually, I had an answer to your last question, which was Belmont Street Fair is happening this coming Saturday in case any of you need a place to go. And that's on Belmont from usually about 33rd to Cesar Chavez. And the International Day of Peace event is happening on Hawthorne on September the 21st from 2 to 4. That's where we have the peace poles up at 50th and Hawthorne. So I think we're the only business district currently that celebrates the United Nations Day of Peace. So if any of you would like to join us, that would be great. So
Thanks, Nancy. Yeah, it's hard to believe we're still in street fair season, but it looks like there's still some great activities coming up in the month of September as well. Looks like there was a question from Southeast Portland who says, is there any activities for small online businesses? So does anybody want to share ways that online businesses could possibly participate in in either of these events?
I mean, I can jump in and just say, we survey the small business community every year, and we have data that shows that of our small businesses, of our brick and mortar small businesses, for the most part, about 90% of their sales are coming in through their front door. So there's not a lot of focus for online because that's really not why people are going into brick and mortar. They're going into brick and mortar for the experience and the relationships that the shops develop with their customer base. So that's where we focus, not so much on the online. That's all I can share about that.
Sarah, if an online business wanted to donate a prize to the event, would that be a possible way for them to participate?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sure thing. And thank you for the question. So it looks like we are just about at time. So if anybody had anything else they wanted to ask, go ahead and do so now. Otherwise, we will say goodbye for the day and give you a few minutes left back in your day. But thank you all so much for joining us today. Definitely now is the time to start thinking about the holiday season and beyond. So definitely look at for more information on these activities. I'll be sending out an email with some links to more information as well as contact information from our presenters. And thank you very much to our presenters for taking time out of their busy schedule to speak with us today. Thank you, Misty, and thank you, Sarah. And best of luck in the holiday season.